Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode, we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am one of your hosts, Ryan Doze, here to talk about some new comics, to preview some upcoming comics, and then talk about just what we are hyped about in the world of comics and Marvel and comics and all that stuff right now. There's so much to be excited about. And well, let's just get this kicked off. Faz, you are here. You are ready to talk about almost all of the books that we are going to be reviewing, and I'm sure you have tons of preview thoughts. What is bringing you that energy, that hope, that passion tonight as we get ready to do this?
I want you to know that I'm ready for all of the books because Hercules is the Prince of Preparedness and made notes. So even the one that I didn't read,
he told us he wasn't doing notes tonight.
I know he'll always do notes. He didn't do it about everything, only the most important character for our purposes. I appreciate that. It helped me out. I'm bringing the energy that I usually bring with a bit less energy, listeners, because I am tired, which means that does make sense. Which means I'm either going to be more ridiculous or quieter than usual, and we'll have to see how the podcast goes. Stick around, and we'll find out. Potential brimming with it. But Eric, we did mention that you usually come mega prepared for Immortal Thor issues. You were like, "No, guys, I don't think this is what I need to do." And then you dropped in our chat. You were like, "I couldn't help myself." Like you did a little bit for New Champions, and I love that, man.
Hey, it's just chill. I'm just being loose, right? That's what this show's all about. Just mellow.
I did say that a lot.
I'm just hanging out. I'm not going to get all super stressed and over prepare and anxious and go off on new comics that we're going to read because I'm so excited.
Ryan, how do you put up with us?
Truly, I ask myself the same question of how do you guys deal with me? So I think that's just what friendship is. It's like,
that makes sense.
Like, do they put up with me? Yeah, they put up with you. Do I put up with them? Yeah, I put up with them. Like, just how it works.
It works.
In the spirit of our missing brother, Will Rose, who has just returned from a skiing trip or a snowboarding trip to Jotunheim, we are, we're just breezy tonight because we got a few things we know we want to talk about, but then we're hyped about a few different things. So let's kick this off, guys. Let's talk about which book should we talk about first? Eric, between TVA and New Champions, where do you want to start?
Let's start with TVA.
Okay. So TVA number 2 just
Legacy
came
number,
out.
Ryan?
What?
Legacy number?
Legacy number 2.
Good.
So this picks up right where issue 1 left off, where the TVA team of Spider-Gwen and Peggy Carter, Gambit, a few other different multiverse variants of these characters, they're trying to figure out what the madness is. So of course, with a thing called the madness, we have to go into the hell dimension and go to Helltown to talk to Damon Hellstrom, the son of Satan himself. So there's a group that goes off and does that, and then Mobius, Peggy Carter, B-15, they stay back at the TVA. This issue had a lot of talking in it, guys. A lot of discussing what the madness could be, what the madness might not be. And then out of nowhere, Sylvie shows up. Sylvie shows up while they're in Helltown. She has a little interaction with Spider-Gwen and Gambit.
It's not out of nowhere. You guys saw this coming from 8 miles away. We were actually both right, which is fun because the cloak was not Sylvie, but you were right that she was going to be here.
Right. And we figured, she was on the cover of TVA number 1, so she had to show up at some point. But then back at the TVA, Mobius is chasing this cloaked figure around the hallways of the TVA. And we don't see who attacks him, but he does get attacked on the last page, and he's left bleeding on the floor. And that's where we end TVA issue number 2. This issue, by the way, is written by Catherine Blair, one of the writers from Loki season 2. The internal art is Pere Perez, and the covers are Pepe Larraz. So fantastic art, fantastic team. Faz, what'd you think of TVA number 2, picking up where we left off last month?
I'm just, I'm certain that this is an MCU canon comic book. There are so many references to the MCU. They even referenced Deadpool and Wolverine in this one, talking about the Time Ripper. It was great to hear OB talk about what a subpar and poorly built Time Ripper it was, and how I would have been able to destroy that timeline way faster. Okay, right. OB, don't gloat about that. That's really fucked up, brother. But no, I think it's really good. I wish that more happened. I really like the art in this book, so I'd like to see them start doing things with the art. But I feel like we've got our pieces in order, and now things are going to kind of start rolling.
Yeah, I'm just to speak to that really quick. I did think this issue was one of those issues where a lot got set up, but maybe not a lot got like presented to us, because like the cover of this issue was like all these demons in the background, but right behind the time door where Spider-Gwen and Gambit are running out of it, and I was like, oh, we're gonna get like a demon chase scene. Nope, we just show up in Helltown, meet Damon Hellstrom, and we just do quite a bit of
the
talking.
Library of Alexandria. That's pretty cool.
I mean, that was a cool little, like, as a history buff, that was a cool little thing they mentioned. But I'm really hoping that issues 3, 4, and 5 kind of amp up the stakes, because we've set the stage enough to where we can actually like start do some stuff. Also, Peggy Carter gets kind of froze out of this issue. She really only has a speaking role for a few panels, which, as a big Peggy Carter fan, I was a little bummed about that. But Eric, what'd you think of TVA number 2, man?
Sylvie showing up as a highlight for me, because honestly, I got like 4 pages in and I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, what's happening? And I had to go back, and I actually got my first issue out of the bag, got it out of the plastic, opened it back up and read, and I was like, oh, they do mention that they're going to go to hell. Oh, okay. So, because
did they? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, that makes more sense, because I'm just like, what is happening? Where are we? I mean, Damien Hellstrom, cool. Like, that's cool. But like, I was thrown off. Sylvie coming in, I'm like, okay, she looks fantastic. Yes. She's sassing with them about like, you kill me. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, like, that's pretty cute, guys. Thanks for trying.
Bitch, please.
Yeah.
Like, that is not happening.
So I thought that was cool. I thought she was cool. I did like the Library of Alexandria. I think it was sort of a cool little Easter egg with Jimmy Hudson, who we are assuming is some kind of Wolverine variant or family member, or we don't know. He actually asked the library to show him something different than the rest of the group was looking for. And he asked for a list of Omega level mutants. And it was like, right this way, here's a list of every single one. And they obviously don't tell us, but that's sort of like the teaser of, you know, does someone know who they all are? And are there more that we already know that we don't know that they're Omega level yet? And that was, I think, kind of an interesting way to weave in some X property stuff without it being like an X-Men book.
Well, I actually took that as when they were like, what could be causing this? Well, an Omega level mutant could be causing that. So he was just going to go see, like, do any of them have scary nightmare powers? That was how I took that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll meet an X-Man or a mutant who can do scary nightmare things later.
Yeah.
We do get another, speaking of references, guys, we do get a reference to He Who Remains in this issue. And part of me was like, the guy, the person that is the reason why Mobius is tracking back through the hallways of the TVA, the figure that we believe attacks him. I was like, could it be He Who Remains that's like sneaking around the TVA? Because he calls out to Loki and he's wondering if it's Loki. So guys, as we kind of wrap up TVA number 2, feel free to share final thoughts, but I'd also like to know, who do you think attacked Mobius at the end of issue 2? Because that for me, that was one of my favorite part. Like, oh, we get a cliffhanger, and like this issue, like, kind of felt really word heavy and really kind of setup heavy. And I was like, okay, at least we have a cliffhanger to lead us into issue 3. Eric, who do you think attacked Mobius?
It's gotta be a character that we already know about. I don't think it would be a new character. So I'm really thinking it's somebody from one of the seasons of the show. I mean, it could be one of the old, TVA generals or someone coming back. It could be He Who Remains. It could be, what happened to Zaniac? Did he die? I forget who died in the Loki season.
Oh yeah,
I think he went to didn't he go to jail or did he die?
It's making me think I need to rewatch these because they are obviously heavily referencing the show. And so
I agree.
Really
with
just
Baz.
the next step. So I'm like, I probably need to go rewatch that to really be able to figure this out. But I don't know. What I'm really liking about it is Spider-Gwen with the quippy comments. She's keeping it light. I'm appreciating that because some of the stuff gets a little convoluted, and I'm like, yeah, all right, like let's keep it rolling here.
Yeah, Faz, do you have a suspicion of who attacked Mobius?
I'm hoping that the Green Cloak was God of Stories Loki, and he was off doing something, and then someone else attacked Mobius. But
okay.
But I don't know. I want to see Loki doing more than sitting on his throne at this point. And if we're not going to get it in the MCU proper, getting it in this comic book to kind of build out his stuff so that when he's inevitably Avenger Prime, when we do Secret Wars, I would like something more than just, wait, you mean he can leave his chair? I want us to be like, yeah, of course. Didn't you read TVA number 4 from 2025? That's obvious. We all knew he could do that.
I want to be that guy in the theater. It's like, oh, look at all these noobs who didn't read TVA number 4.
Or Avengers Forever. Come on, guys. Like, you're not reading these random comic books that we've covered? Come on. Are you not listening to the podcast? What are you doing?
But there's no way it's Loki getting out of his chair, walking around. That would completely undermine the magnitude and the sacrifice he made. I mean, it's like to just be chilling in the hallways. Come on.
But what if it's like a projection of Loki that he can cast through the multiverse in order to help things as he goes? Like he's physically there. He can just go out and do stuff to help make sure that things go the way they're supposed to.
Guys, I think I've solved our mystery of who attacked Mobius. I got 2 words for you. Ravonna Renslayer.
Oh, that would make sense.
Because she left and we don't know where she is.
Well, isn't she in the Void? She's in the Void, right?
Right. But at the end of Loki season 1, is it season 1? Maybe halfway through season 2, it's heavily implied or just outright said that she is like taking the place of He Who Remains. Am I making that up?
I think she was left there. At the end of season 1, she disappears and we don't know where she goes. And then I think at the end of season 2, she's
stranded in the Void. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
but she's right beside the pyramids, and the kind of implication is that if Kang was still going to be around, she was going to find King Ramatut and get things rolling.
I'm just saying, I think Ravonna showing up would be badass because she actually has a reason to not like Mobius. I don't think it would make sense for Loki to attack Mobius.
No, it wouldn't be Loki that's attacking. It's got to be somebody else for sure.
And I could buy what Faz is saying is that the Green Cloak is a red herring, and the Green Cloak is not the same thing that attacked him.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's 2 different things. Although it could be that the Green Cloak is the thing that attacked him, and it could be Nightmare wearing a Green Cloak, which is why they're all having nightmare visions, and it's like a multiversal nightmare or something.
I love me some Nightmare. But yeah, guys, that's that. Any other things about TVA number 2? Because otherwise we can move on to newer endeavors for our new champions. New Champions number 1 did come out a few weeks ago at the time of this recording, but we figured we would talk about it because there is a character in this new team that is heavily Asgardian influenced. So Eric, you did a little bit of research. This was unsanctioned research. This was not something that we were...
Okay, to be fair, it's always sanctioned. We appreciate when he does it. We just weren't expecting it.
I'm not getting reimbursed for this? What?
It checks in the mail. So would you want to kind of maybe share with people, who is Hellrune? Why would we be talking about Hellrune? Why are we discussing this character in this comic?
So I'll set this up as much as I can to get us to the New Champions number 1. But Hellrune is a character that was created as part of the New Champions variant cover program. And that was just basically a prompt to have creators come up with something of, what would a long forgotten sidekick character sort of be like? And they just wanted to have some new, fresh images for these variant covers. the creator of Hellrune's design is Tony Infante, and I believe he said that the original idea was that the character would be called Raven, but of course the character was unnamed because there's no story with it. It was just a cover at the time. And
also, so Raven famously taken.
Raven's already taken, and I would say that this character really feels like Nico Minoru mixed with Raven character.
Okay, yeah, yep.
So really similar vibes. But anyway, premiered as a variant cover for Immortal Thor #3, and it was just this cool teen with purple hair and a rainbow, and it was like, oh, neat image. So it turns out then they decided to make these into actual characters. So in the Spider-Woman run, from issue 7 through 10, that really finishes out the run, these characters show up, and a lot of them have their first appearances there. They're called the Assembly, and it's a bunch of teen heroes, and they're kind of fighting some crime, and Jessica Drew's like, helping them out and figuring out what's going on with this whole Hydra thing. What's going on with the whole Hydra thing was that Hydra was abducting gifted youth and brainwashing them to do their bidding. They figure this all out. They unbrainwash them, and the kids go back to their families. When they unbrainwash Hellrune, we learn that, she doesn't have a family to go back to. She's actually an orphan. And so she's with foster parents in New Champions, but she has this mysterious backstory then. So really the backstory is leaving us guessing that she's maybe Asgardian, because when she was on, I think it said, on her 13th birthday, a flock of ravens descended on the orphanage, granting her mysterious powers and a new name, Hellrune. So the ravens gave her the name and the powers on her 13th birthday in an orphanage. That's so, that could be anything. It could be magic. Yeah. It could be magic. It could be God related. It could be a curse. It could be but they appear very Asgardian. Is it misdirection? Are we supposed to think it's Asgardian because of the raven and the rainbow and the lightning and stuff like that? Or is it that we're going to find out that she is, related to some famous character or has some other connections? I mean, there's a lot that that's what makes it good. Because it makes you think and makes you want to know more. So I'm just eating it up. When I first saw some of these images and some of the backstories and stuff, and I was like, this sounds okay. This sounds dumb. This sounds dorky.
This sounds dumb.
Who's Cadet Marvel? Give me a break. And then I was like, okay, I love this character. Cadet Marvel's my new favorite. So I actually bought into it pretty hard.
so to piggyback off of that, Eric and I both read this first issue. Faz has not gotten around to it yet, but
I just skimmed it while Eric was summarizing. Thank you very much. I've read the issue.
You must be a personal injury lawyer or something like that. Here's what I'll say about New Champions. I did not know about Hellrune until I think it was the artist or someone that was doing a variant cover showed off this image of Hellrune. I think Faz may have shared it in our group chat, or someone.
I've been excited about that Immortal Thor 3 cover since it came out.
And I was like, oh, who is this? She kind of looks like Valkyrie meets Dazzler. And I was like, I'm here for it. What is this though? So I started to learn a little more New Champion. Oh, Steve Fox. Steve Fox is a name that I know. And so went into this issue pretty blind, but I loved this issue. And I'll just quickly recap it for us. We were introduced to this team formerly known as the Assembly, but now they're the New Champions. And the Champions in recent decades have been, this youthful superhero team of teenagers, and we see them fight some kind of villain of the month, people in the first few panels. But then Hellrune is our emotional story in this, because she's the only one that doesn't have a family to go back to, and she's asking the magic of her staff, her spear, and the ravens to take her to her family, and she finds out that she has an aunt, and she's like, oh well, take me to her right now. So the magic does, and we see this shadowy figure, which I'm sure we will talk about this, because this is really the overt Asgardian tie, I feel like. But then she is in trouble, and we hear this, bring the new champions to me, bring the new champions to me, and the other characters, Liberty, Cadet Marvel, and Moonsquire. I love the name Moonsquire. Moonsquire, they all get summoned to
God,
Norway.
Does Moonsquire, that's Moon Knight, but sidekick? Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
What? It's not that clever, Fast. Hence the eye roll. They get summoned to Norway, where Hellrune is, but they're attacked by these zombie Vikings, and I loved that. Loved it so much. I thought the artwork was so great. Then we find out like Spider-Boy is there, and then this like Ghost Rider, like ghost roller skater girl shows up too. That we find out that her call went out to like all forgotten sidekicks, and there's tons of these sidekicks in the last few panels of this story fighting these zombie trolls and these zombie Vikings. This comic, before we kind of get into the Asgardian connections to it, I loved this comic because it was fun. It had an emotional tie. It introduced me to characters that I quickly started to like and understand and get kind of what their motive is. Here's what I'll say about this. I enjoyed TVA because I kind of know what those characters are supposed to be from the TV show. If I hadn't watched the MCU Loki show, though, I could see myself being frustrated with the TVA. But New Champions did a thing where it introduced me to characters that, I mean, majority of people, no offense, Steve Fox, majority of people are meeting these characters for the first time because they're getting this big rollout. They're getting this big New Champions #1, and they're this new team. I really loved this book because of how quickly it made me care about these characters. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm going to be following this book until it gives me a reason not to, put it that way. Faz, I know you just briefly skimmed it. Eric, what was kind of your overall impressions? And then we'll go to Faz for his overall impressions, and then we can talk about that image we see Hellrune looking at in Norway that asks a bunch of other questions. So let's run with that.
One of the things I liked about this the most, I absolutely agree. It seems it almost sets you up to be like, Moonsquire, Cadet Marvel, like, am I supposed to take these characters seriously? What a joke. And then you fall in love with them immediately. And one of the things I especially liked was they don't have secret identities from their parents. The parents all know that they have gifted kids. And so that removes one of the tropes, one of the like overdone story elements of like the kids are not, they're sneaking around because they're maybe past their curfew, but they're not hiding things from their parents as overtly as like a Spider-Man would, right? So it makes it so that I think they're just getting rid of some of the things that would be repetitive or have been done before in other teen team-up books. But the art is fantastic. The dialogue is great. It's easy to follow. I love the crow magic, the raven magic. I mean, when she teleports and it's like, whir, 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 I'm just picturing like this, just the visuals. There's purple lightning. I'm digging it so hard. And I love that you said it's like Dazzler. What did you say? Dazzler and
Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's like Valkyrie meets Dazzler, because Valkyrie has this like the all weapon is this very multifaceted thing that can do whatever she needs to. But then she's got that like lightning bolt across her eye like Dazzler. She's got the different colored hair. I love Hellrune's design.
Yeah. I
think it is a refreshing take on, what I'm assuming an Asgardian teenage superhero would look like. I just love it. It's so good. Baz, what did you think of New Champions #1? Oh, great skimmer, you.
So similarly, I was very impressed with how well they kind of got me interested in most of the characters. I also think that keeping Hellrune at the center was the best thing because she has a mystery around her and there's a lot more fun with her.
True.
My theory since we saw this first cover back a year and a half ago was, so is this what MCU love would be? If we age her up later on, is this who Gore's daughter, who's raised in as an Asgardian, would be as a teenager?
Oh,
and then we got this original storyline where she's actually not super. Hydra experimented on her and implanted these memories, and then she was broken from it. But this book sounds like they're going, fuck that. She can have her own actual Asgardian roots somewhere. So now I'm like, are we retconning the retcon that started as a variant cover that might have been an homage to Love and Thunder? I don't know, but like Eric said, I need to know now. So I will be continuing to pick up this book until I learn who the fuck this girl is, because she's really interesting.
Well, and I think that is maybe this book's biggest plus, is that it gave us a reason to care beyond a number one issue. And I think that our little teaser that we got of who she could potentially be connected to is one of those things that, I don't know, guys, I want to know the answer, because in the panel that we see her looking at, she says, I must have roots here when she gets transported to this island near Norway. And we see an inscription, a carving on the stone that, let's be honest, that's Hela. Eric, what do you think, man? Like, is she related to Hela some way, which would make her related to Loki some way, which would explain the penchant for magic?
The carving absolutely is Hela's headdress. The carving is also a reminiscent pose to Wanda with the Darkhold, but I think it is, the headdress gives it away that this is meant to be Hela. Now, this is the wrinkle that's thrown in. She's not very good at magic yet. So when she says, like, take me to my aunt and teleports there, who knows if that was effective or not. So
right. Faz,
and also, like, those the zombie Vikings go Hela, Hela, Hela as they're doing their stuff, right? So are these Vikings who died sacrificing themselves to Hela, and that's why there's a Hela symbol there? Is Hela her aunt? In this continuity, is Hela Loki's daughter or Loki's sister? And that would mean that she's Loki or Thor's daughter, Hellrune. They could go a lot of different ways with it based on what they want to do with this book. And again, I need to find out. I'm more into this mystery than the TVA mystery.
That,
to be honest.
That to me is the most interesting part. Is there's several different ways you could do it. You could go the more obvious route, or you could throw a curveball. It really depends on what Steve Fox wants to do from a narrative point of view. And does he want to throw a curveball, or does he want to just be like, no, she is related to Hela, or she is related to Loki, related to Thor. So I really enjoy the mystery of it. Any other thoughts on New Champions, guys? Because then we got to get to Faz's favorite comic of all time.
Oh, Eric, do you have any final thoughts?
Just my final thought is I'm into it, and I think I saw some solicitations that the current champions are going to come back and be like, "What are you using taking our name for?" So I want to see some Sam Alexander confronting them about, like, the name's taken.
Sam Alexander being like, Cadet Marvel my ass, man. Yeah. This is my team. Oh, man. I love that. Excited to see what Steve Fox and Yvonne Fiorelli do with this team. I'm really excited. Hey, maybe that would be something we could throw Steve Fox's way. Be like, hey, man, can we have you on the show and ask about Hellrune a little bit? I think that'd be fun. But last new comics we're going to talk about today are Faz. Give us an update on what Alligator Loki's been doing in Alyssa Wong's wild, wacky world of Infinity Comics.
We got like 11 Infinity Comics to get through, and Ryan has told me that I have exactly 2 minutes. We're going to bust through that, but we're going to do our best. Alligator Loki 34, Into the Gatorverse. Get fired up, guys. Alligator Loki explains to our good friend, I think she's X-23, that Alligator Loki is equal to Loki. Throg is equal to Thor. And she wants her animal version. Alligator Loki's like, maybe it's an alligator. And then she's like, no, it would be a Wolverine, you dumbass. And they spend the rest of the issue doing silly stuff, and it ends with her with a stuffed Wolverine. So that's the first issue, guys. Alligator Loki 35. Ad Astra per Alligator. Captain Marvel is there. Alligator Loki really wants to fly, my friends. He runs into Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is like, I'll use my human side thing. I don't really know how the comic Captain Marvel's going right now, but she's tied to a human, right? So
she was.
Yes.
Yeah, so the human gives Alligator Loki a spacesuit, and then Carol flies him through space. What a nice, happy issue. Our little alligator guy. The next issue, guys, is called Home at Last. And what it is Loki returning to Jotunheim. But before going, you gotta put a scarf on our alligator. He's got a cute little coat on. He's got some gloves, and they go to Jotunheim to a scary, evil ice castle. And Loki's like, "I'm back. I'm king." Haha. Alligator Loki gets thrown around. Loki has to brood on his throne, and they just they kind of have a good time. Loki misses Thor. Alligator Loki misses Thor. They go home. Thor and Throg probably didn't even notice they were gone because they're big, dumb, lovable idiots. And then they just got to have a nice Christmas sweater and hot cocoa day.
I love how Faz so joyously describes like hot cocoa day with sweaters.
Do you not love hot cocoa days with sweaters? We're talking.
No, I love it. I just love how you say it.
One of the three of us
so
had
idyllic.
4 Christmas trees, Ryan, and you're telling me that you can't get into the Christmas spirit just this once? Come on, man. Eric, side note. One of my buddies yesterday told me that he had 4 Christmas trees in his house, and they were all real Christmas trees.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
So it's time. You gotta go to. You either have to go to 5 Christmas trees or 4 real ones plus a fake one. I think.
What's the exchange rate, on the real to fake trees? How many fake trees do I have to get to cancel out 4 real ones?
If you have one more fake tree, you win. But real trees win the tiebreaker. Okay, that's how I would describe it. Yeah. You only need 1 real tree, and then you can. Anyway, return to roots. Alligator Loki coming up next. They are at they're kind of walking through the, I think it's the Bifrost, I guess, or it's like a theme park based on the 9 Realms.
It's the theme park from issue 1, way back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. And they're having a good time on it again. This time Throg's still there. Listeners, I have to point out that I've always been so excited about having Throg here. Eric has ruined Throg for me by explaining that he is a 40-year-old retired professional football playing human and not a frog.
That ruined it for you?
Treating him like an animal throughout this book is terrifying. But anyway, they have a lot of fun, and then Alligator Loki falls off the Bifrost. That's where we're at with this one. Where is he going to go? Oh no, he could go anywhere. Poor Alligator Loki. The next one has a very scary face on it. It's called Detour, listeners. Where did our guy Al Glokes go? He falls down. It's all scary. There's vampires. There's more scary stuff. Those scary Raven guys with the big eyes that are gigantic. Eric,
Val Raven.
Even Ryan knew Val Raven. That's bad. I should have known that if Ryan knew that. Wait. He's about to get eaten, and then we see that actually he's in hell. Aunt Hella's there. Oh, it's all good. Alligator Lokes is fine. Is her spouse Carnilla?
I believe so.
Okay, so it's Hella and Carnilla, which is a vibe. I like that. The Ravens are like, "Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you weren't food and you were instead a honored guest."
Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Alligator Loki is written in a Canadian accent. You can ask Alyssa Wong; they'll confirm it. Next one's called Heart of the Gator. Okay, and this is where Alligator Loki learns how to do karate, and he does a great job. It's actually kung fu, probably not karate, because it's Iron Fist that's teaching him, and it's a vibe of an issue. Highly recommend it. He starts doing some fire. He accidentally burns down the monastery. Shit happens. That's not his fault. He's the alligator of mischief. That's on them. He
burns Kunlun to the ground.
Yeah, but
it's like, shit happens.
It's one of the 9 heavens. It's an immortal city. It'll grow back. Who gives a shit? Wow. They shouldn't have given him matches.
Faz pulled out more Iron Fist knowledge than I thought he had right there. That's strong flex, Faz. Strong flex.
One of my buddies at work is a big Iron Fist guy. He gave me like 3 runs to read, like just 6 6-issue runs to take a look at.
And I read Immortal Weapons is in there.
No, it was the one that he had me spend the most time on was the what was it called? The 5 Champions or the 5 Masters or something. He had to beat, yeah. Very good. Learned a lot about Iron Fist. Still don't think he's as cool as Thor, but it's okay. Jeff Week comes next. We're in Jeff Week. We're celebrating Jeff all week long with your favorite Infinity Comics
forever ago.
It's called Guest Appearance. Thor is podcasting, or at least zooming with his Avengers, with their 5-year plan. It's very funny. Lots of cameos. Alligator Loki's being a cat or a dog. As somebody who's been in court and had my brother's dog jump on my lap while providing submissions to a judge, I feel this greatly, including Thor wearing just Thor underwear, thunderwear, if you will.
Thunderwear. Yes.
Alligator Loki being a little menace, and eventually Thor just being like, all right, fine, we'll just let him be on camera. That'll be fine. That's what I did too. I held Hugo right on my lap while I finished my submissions. When you got to do what you got to do. Boys, I need a 30-second break, so why don't you talk about what we've ripped through so far while I get ready for the next couple?
So one thing I really enjoyed about this run is it continues this thing I already knew but kind of underappreciate about Alyssa Wong, is their ability to tell a story with minimal words, and to be funny and to be refreshing in the way that Thor and Loki and Throg are presented through the lens of Alligator Loki. I think it just allows to tell a very different kind of Thor story. Eric, what do you think about Alligator Loki thus far?
I think it's easy to just skim through these as a little bit of light reading. Maybe you don't have time for a whole comic book before bed, but you can scroll while you're sitting there getting ready to fall asleep, and you can get through a couple of issues. But I think that there's probably even more care and attention that goes into these short comics than a regular comic book, and especially when there's no words, because you have to have such a good relationship with the artist. You have to have such clear ideas of storytelling and how something's going to be perceived and how it's going to be framed and how you're going to get to it in such a short amount of time. Like it's incredible. And I think it's a masterclass in storytelling in a limited format, that honestly, I think in a longer format, people get away with a lot more like loose kind of like, oh, well, we'll just have a narrator piece there and kind of explain it. Well, you can't do that here. And so everything has to be meticulously planned, and yet it needs to feel effortless. It can't be high anxiety. Like it can't look like you're trying too hard. It needs to feel just light and breezy.
Yeah, I agree. I think Alyssa gets a lot of credit, obviously, laying out this story, but Bob Quinn with the artwork, also fantastic. I would love to interview Bob Quinn sometime and just be like, hey, how do you make an alligator version of Loki so compelling when you really have no words to back up? Like, it really does just rely on your artwork being the storyteller. Faz, you're grinning from ear to ear. You look so happy. Can you take us to the finish line with Alligator Loki?
Oh man, the next two are Ocean's 11, which is just amazing. It's an Ocean's 11 heist movie, but it's 11 because he's an alligator. And I don't know if you guys knew this.
That part.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Throg is a narc. He's a cop.
Throg is a narc.
Getting that out of the way early.
So great.
It's very, it's very heisty. It's very hidden. It's, underneath. They're trying to steal something very important from Avengers Tower. You guys guessed it. They're trying to steal the cookie jar. A bunch of pet Avengers are trying to do it, but there's a bunch of pet Avenger narcs led by none other than Frog. How rude. It ends on a cliffhanger, guys. They get thrown away. Jeff the shark is captured, and the rest of them have to escape into the night. It is amazing. Bats is also a narc, which hurts me greatly because he's currently my favorite.
It feels out of character for Bats a little bit.
I don't think it does. I think that he would be like, I would just give you guys cookies. I don't understand why you're trying to break into the mansion right now, and that it would cause this problem. So Ocean's 11 Part 2, A11, sorry, listeners, and sorry, Alyssa Wong, who I'm sure is listening. They're basking in the glory of their great victory, and right as Loki's about to eat one, he realizes that we don't have Jeff. Where's Jeff? He's being interrogated by Throg, which again, a 40-year-old man has tied a shark who lives on land onto a chair and is talking to a ghost dog about how best to force the information out of him to get these cookies back, presumably because the Avengers will be mad at him if he doesn't get them back. Maybe that was his job. And they decide that the heist should no longer be about the cookies, but instead they're getting Jeff back. So they throw the cookies back and they try to steal Jeff. Throg has a beautiful panel where he's throwing the hammer. Eric, that should be your second tattoo, I think. He misses, though, because, again, he hasn't played football in a while. And then that's, they escape. Eric, given how much Throg was in those two, what are your thoughts on that specifically, the Ocean's 11 Part 1 and 2?
I chalk it up to either, and I don't think it's been confirmed, do we see the name Throg anywhere? It could be a Frog Thor variant, because certainly there are Frog Thor variants out there. And so maybe if this is a childlike Frog Thor variant, that would explain a lot. If it is Throg, if it is indeed the same Throg that battled with Don Blake, and has years of experience saving the universe, I like to think that he maybe just gets caught up in the action and just thinks like, maybe Loki's a bad influence. Maybe it just, the stakes seem really high at the time and he's trying to just do a good job. But that's the only way I can square that round peg with a retired NFL player.
The other premise too is that Alligator Loki is a guy. Like he's not a pet alligator. Like he is a sentient human being essentially, right? Like he's just happens to be in alligator form. So I guess that part makes sense. The next issue though, this is very difficult to square. It's called Walkies. And in Walkies, Loki and Thor are trying to leash up Alligator Loki to take him for a walk. They eventually put a little vest on him and they put on his leash and he's all upset and Throg is making fun of him. And again, Thor's like, don't speak too soon, my friend, because I'm taking you for a walk too. And Alligator Loki and Throg are taken for a walk like common house pets, leashed up to Thor and Loki respectively. And mayhem ensues. I don't know how that works with a 40-year-old man, but Ryan, next time I see you, I'm going to put a leash on you and take you for a walk, and we'll see if you react the same way that Throg does.
Also, fuck you for saying I'm 40.
I'm not saying you're 40. I'm saying that you're a full-grown man. Eric is too strong. Well, I cannot put a leash on him. I can put a leash on you.
I'm too grown at this point.
Fair enough. We're at the final issue. The most important
we are,
issue.
and this is kind of a banger. Actually,
this one's actually it's. I think I get 2 minutes just for it. Thanos has defeated Loki. Thanos has defeated Thor. Thanos punches Alligator Loki squarely in whatever the alligator version of his stomach is. All hope is lost. And what must be done? Alligator Loki is finally worthy. He's able to lift Jonathan. He becomes Alligator Thorky. And he's
Alligator
ready.
Thorky.
He has a Sailor Moon transformation, which I'm sure was on purpose by Alyssa, and I love it. And he beats the ever-loving shit out of Thanos. Thanos is knocked out. Thor's in love. Loki is proud. And it's revealed that he's actually playing with his stuffed Mjolnir, telling a story to Throg, and the two of them raise their hammers in glory. And if that isn't the best issue of Alligator Loki we've got so far, I don't know what is, because that
honestly, I kind of agree with you, because we got to see Alligator Loki be a badass, and then it was like a classic Golden Age comic where it was like, but it was all a dream.
It captured the entire vibe, right? Like Throg was there. It was silly. It had the really cool stuff, but it wasn't real because it's just about being fun. Calls back to the stuffed Mjolnir. Oh man, Thanos was there.
So, guys, we've covered all of our new comics, and new comics kind of took we had more to say than I thought we were gonna say. So I had a whole other thing we were gonna do here, but I think it would just be good for us to wrap up this episode by talking about some things that we're generally hyped about. We're always excited for Immortal Thor. We're always excited for what's coming down the pike with those books, and we'll definitely be here to talk about all of it. In our recent conversation with Will Moss, we now know that we're gonna circle Ultimates 11 to talk about on the show. We got Strange of Asgard coming up, which is going to be a few issue series. There's a lot of good things coming in the world of Thor. But Eric, well, let's start with you, man. What's kind of some things in comics or things around Thor or the comic book world that you're more excited about? We'll kind of bat the ball around a little bit, then we'll throw to, well, we probably should save Faz for last because he's the most excited of all the boys tonight. So Eric, go first, man.
I mean, I'm obviously on the edge of my seat for the Immortal Thor comics, as every Alex Ross cover preview image that we get just sends my mind wandering and getting excited for those comics. I'm excited for some Thor adjacent stuff. Ever since Powerhouse or Apex was in the Thor annual, now I'm following the Infinity Watch comic line, which I had no plans on following that, but I'm like, I want to see what happens to Apex now. He's got that.
I think that's Steve Fox as well.
Is it? So there was such a huge gap between the first issue and the second issue. The second issue still hasn't come out yet. I think it's been 2 months or something. I don't know what the lead time is there, but I am legitimately curious to see what happens there. And I didn't think I would be. So yeah, those are just a couple of the things.
Faz, do you have any things you want to mention here?
Are we talking Thor or non-Thor?
Is there anything Thor specific? Because I know there's a bunch of non-Thor.
So, listeners,
stuff.
you should go back and listen to our conversation with Will Moss because he talks about what's upcoming with Immortal Thor a bunch, and he explains it better than we will. It's gonna be fucking cool, and you're gonna want to see it. And Eric and I are gonna go crazy because we're gonna get every reference, listeners. Because Eric and I are learning everything there is to know about Thor. More details later. But the thing that I'm really excited about is every time that we get a Patreon supporter, guys. If you like what we do here and you want to support us at the next level, it does mean the world to us. We do have a Patreon. It doesn't cost a lot, and it does help us do what we do around here. If we get enough of them someday, maybe we can go to a Colts game. That would be the dream. Eric would like that because he's a diehard Colts fan. I would like that because I'm a diehard Colts fan. Ryan loves the Colts, and Will can be convinced. Put a beer in him and Ryan do whatever you want. Yeah. But no, the thing that I'm most excited for Thor-wise is Ultimates. Denise Camp is allowed to do one crazy random issue every mini run of Ultimates, and he's chosen a Thor versus King Loki War for Asgard as his issue. In April of this year, guys, Thor Ultimates 11 is going to be a Thor only issue with Thor, She-Hulk, and Sif taking on King Loki. And that is going to be perfect. As someone who loves Marvel Rivals, seeing that Thor versus King Loki thing happening in the comics as well is awesome. It's synchronicity, and I'm very excited.
I think along that line, Faz, I'm excited to kind of get caught up on Ultimates and for that issue to hit more significantly, like you're so excited about it right now. Will Moss got me extra excited about it. I think it was Neeraj Menon, who's a colorist, works for Marvel. He posted the cover of Ultimates 11 the other day, and I was like, well, freaking, this is awesome. So I'm excited about that book as well. I'm excited about Immortal Thor. I think Will Moss, like Faz said, Will Moss's interview with us is, if you're not excited about what's coming down the pike for Immortal Thor, you need to listen to that interview and have Will Moss set you straight, because he was an excellent salesman in that respect, getting us a Thor podcast getting us hyped about Immortal Thor. Our baseline is hyped. And then we're willed to just be like, and here's what's going to happen in 21 and 22. Here's some little things that you might want to look forward to. And we're just like, oh my God, I don't want to wait till March for this.
There's a phrase I used to use that I don't use anymore, but it definitely involves something similar to erecting a building. And the fact that I can only be so excited about things like that. I don't use it as much as I used to, but Will Moss did get me quite excited.
For the record, everybody, this man is married to a human woman. Like, at some point in Cynthia Fazio's life, she was just like, sure, yes, I guess I'll marry you. Fine.
That's actually exactly what she said. She said, fine, whatever.
So fine, whatever. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Cynthia, you're a real one, and I know you're not listening to this.
Oh, she doesn't listen to us. Yeah, it's fine.
God. I still hold out hope that there will be like an all spouses edition of the podcast someday. It'll be 5 minutes long, and it'll just be each one of them like, fuck these nerds. Fuck these nerds. Oh my gosh, guys, not Thor specific stuff. What are we excited about in comics? Like maybe one or two things that we're excited on the way out of this kind of new reviews, but also a little bit of preview looking forward. Eric, are there some things that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Uncanny X-Men has been really good. I'm not even an X reader, and Uncanny is probably my favorite book in that line right now. It just gives me the right balance of new stuff, but also nostalgia.
Is that Gail Simone?
I believe so. Yeah.
And Carmen Carnero art.
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, but yeah, something like that.
I was just saying,
Jesus, Ryan, what are you doing?
Faz has his little pet hyperfixations. One of mine is Carmen Carnero. Her artwork is absolutely.
Oh, Ryan, you can't say your hyperfixation is a human being. That's just terrifying.
Her artwork, you freak.
This is like Thor Grunbeck all over again.
I swear to God, I will fly up there and kick your ass. Eric, sorry.
So Uncanny X-Men, but then I'm also getting excited for Bug Wars, and and I'm also still reading TMNT because I think I don't know if Jason knows this. When he comes on a show like this, it makes me want to buy everything that he's selling. So now I have to go and get everything that he talked about.
I think that's why he might be doing this.
I think it might be why he does.
I think he specifically wants us to buy all the things.
Wait, Jason, are you saying this is all about the money for you?
You tell me you're making money off these things?
I know you're listening, Jason Aaron. You tell us.
Here's the thing, though, dude. There's a chance he is.
There's no way he's listening to hour 2 of this discussion we're having here. Once I started yelling about Alligator Loki, he turned it off for sure.
See, somewhere, Jason is a like he's a very big New Champions fan, and he's like, I have to know what these guys said about it. Watch, we're gonna get a private message on our podcast account. Like, listen, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I love New Champions.
The fact that you don't like Moonsquire means I'm never coming on the pod again. That's what he's gonna say.
Or he's gonna say, "Oh yeah, Cadet Marvel. You're right. He is badass."
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, Eric, I think that's a proper segue for us all to say we're very excited for Bug Wars. Mm-hmm. Like. It is the most Jason Aaron idea that I've heard him promote in a few years.
War of the Realms in his backyard is going to go so hard.
Conan meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like, it's such a fucking badass thing. And getting to talk to him about it a few months ago at this point actually was getting to see the preview images and like Mohammed Ashrar and his art is so perfect for that. Vaz, do you have any other Jason Aaron Bug Wars related hype that you want to talk about? Jason
really sold us on it. Not that we needed to be sold on it. Like when I met him at New York Comic Con, he was like, "Oh, you think Absolute Superman's going to be cool? Like you need to pay attention to Bug Wars." And I was like, "Oh, all right, Jason, sure, I'll pay attention to Bug Wars. Then he came on and he was like, no, boys, like Bug Wars, like, did you read the thing? And like, holy fucking shit, that thing is going to be good. So I'm in Canada. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's unclear if my local comic book store is actually going to be able to. Listeners, Ryan just did a spit take all over his mic. It's unclear if we're going to be able to get Bug Wars here, so I might need to figure it out. But I've asked them to order it for me, and if it exists in Canada, they will get it. The hype is real.
Yeah, I think that book's going to really over deliver because it lets Jason do everything that he does phenomenally. World build. He's going to build all these different teams and cultures, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And there's going to be a thematic underpinning that kind of runs throughout his comics. Like whatever he kind of chooses for the theme of those stories to be, he is a very good writer with like staying on theme and staying with the vibe that he sets out for. And Mahmoud's artwork is like, he just
so good. He's
so good. Like Mahmoud would be another one. Like we should try and get Mahmoud Ashrar on the podcast because he has done some Thor work in the past. But I think just talking about Bug Wars alone would be like sick. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, you'll never guess who the colorist on Bug Wars is going to be. It's Jason's old running mate, Matthew Wilson, who's an Eisner Award-winning colorist, and he's just phenomenal. The preview images for this series do look truly crazy. Eric, did you have anything else besides Bug Wars? Because I think this is the portion of the show where I have to let Faz talk about Absolute Superman.
Go for it.
If you guys think Jason Aaron...
None of this 2-minute shit, by the way. Be honest.
Do I have more than 2 minutes? Ryan told me I could have 37 seconds.
You have a minute, which means you have 10.
Yeah.
But what are you loving about Absolute Superman, Faz?
Ryan, you talked about how Jason Aaron is great at world building. You talked about how Jason Aaron is great at storytelling. You talked about how he picks great collaborators like Mahmoud Asrar and like Rafa Sandoval to make great art. Absolute Superman is redefining the lore of Superman in our time. He's not royalty in Krypton. He is a working class man from the actually lower class, really. The art is transcendent. The story building is incredible. If you aren't in yet, I'd recommend waiting until the first arc is done because there's so much building that when it hits, it's really going to hit. I can feel it and it's bubbling right now. And every month I'm mad that it's over because I have to wait another month to come. But Jason has blessed us, and these come in the first week, in the first little bit here. The first one came out on January 1st, and the next one's coming on the 5th of February. You guys are missing out if you're not seeing 20-year-old, depressed, heart of gold Superman, because that's what we're getting here. He is truly Mowgli, like Jason said. Jason sold me on it when we were talking to him on the pod. I've cosplayed this already. I'm already working on an upgraded cosplay of it. It's so good. And everybody needs to read it. Ryan and Eric seem to refuse because they hate me specifically. So listeners, I know the rest of you were reading it, and I know that you're loving it. And you can DM me because Ryan and Eric are too cool.
Okay. I have 2 children that are in kindergarten.
Faz and Will, I know. It's fine. Yeah.
And I won't lie, Faz. There are some days where you and my son's tantrums sound a lot alike. Why can't we do this? Why won't you let me do this? Why won't you read this book with me? I'm just like, I've got other books to read. But no, Faz, I love your excitement for this book. I did obviously pick up issue number 1. I think I am going to wait till it's in like a trade format. Yeah. But I, along the absolute line discussion, I am only 1 issue behind on Wonder Woman, and Absolute Wonder Woman kicks ass. Kelly Thompson is, I mean, she's one of the best writers in comics, in my opinion. And I think giving her the reins to Wonder Woman, while at the same time, like, a writer with the talent of Tom King is writing the Wonder Woman main series. Like, Wonder Woman really is getting a lot of huge talent thrown at her books.
I have something very important to say about Absolute Wonder Woman. She rides a Pegasus, and she kind of looks like Chappell Roan in certain panels.
Yes.
As a result, when you read it, you should be thinking in your head, Pink Pony Club. You should be playing that song as you read through it. It will enhance your experience. And if not, at least you'll be cursed like I am, because I can't read that book without hearing that in my head.
Baz just gave me my social media post for the next day or two. But no, I'm really enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman. But when it comes to DC books, I'm all Aquaman all the time. Like,
yeah, too bad there's no Absolute Aquaman because he sucks. But yeah, otherwise.
It's like you want me to fight you, and I don't want to fight you. Aquaman #1 from Jeremy Adams and John Tim was everything I want in an Aquaman comic. It was perfect. And then in the subsequent weeks, Aquaman has shown up in all these different DC books, like DC's World's Finest, which is before Aquaman came out, was my favorite book. I love Mark Waid's World's Finest run.
Is it a true one, or is it like after everything that's happened before he's resetting? Like, how does Aquaman 1 work? Is it a reset, or what's the...
It's a reset because the entire DC universe is different after the events of DC's All In Special #1.
Cool.
Because, so if you're going to get into the DC All In books, and I credit Greg, our buddy over at Bearded Comic Book Bro, he explained this to me, that DC All In Special #1 resets the meta narrative of the DC All In line, because it explains why Darkseid is now this like impersonal force in the universe. Mm-hmm. Darkseid is infesting all these different aspects of the DC universe, and at the end of Aquaman #1, there is a overt tie to Darkseid, and I was like, oh my god, Aquaman is going to fight Darkseid or some agent of his, and I'm very excited about that. So over in the world of Marvel, I just picked up Ultimate Wolverine #1, loved it. Picked up Daredevil Unleash Hell #1 with you know what, I'm just gonna say it, friend of the show, Valentina Pinty's
artwork.
At you
finally willing to say that.
Well, no, but the thing is, she's so awesome, like interacting with our show account online, and has been really generous, like just chatting back and forth. But her artwork in that book is gross. I showed a panel to Eric. And
you made him throw up.
I made sure, because Eric doesn't like gore. Eric doesn't like the bloody, like whatever. And I'm sorry, I was not a very good friend in that moment, Eric. I did show you the grossest panel of that entire book.
Whoa, check this out. What is it?
You're like, God, you gotta warn me when you said. But Valentina's artwork is really, really good. I enjoyed her issue of Thor that she did last year, but I would say this book is definitely more her like natural style, and that's just kind of cool to see an artist thrive in a style that doesn't feel out of pocket for them. And then like overall, guys, I'm excited for One World Under Doom. I really want to see what that big line wide story shows us. So any other final thoughts, guys? I know we've kind of spoken extemporaneously on all these little preview things.
Doom Academy. Do you think Alvy is going to be in Doom Academy?
Oh. You know what? I think that would be a lot of fun. I think the version of Alvy that we got in Thor 19 would say like, oh no, he's pissed. So I think it would be kind of fun to see him side with Doom a little bit.
At least go back to school instead of just playing video games and moping around.
Yeah. Come on, Alvy. Faz, you got any final thoughts? Eric, you want to share any final thoughts, and we'll wrap up and
guys,
get out of here.
Listeners, just so you know, this was supposed to be like a really tight, short issue for us because we didn't have as much to do, and we had too much that we could potentially talk about, and we just decided why not do it all, because fuck it, we love you guys, and
fuck it, we love you guys.
I hope that you love us too and want to support us at the next level via Patreon.
I would just say, I listen to a ton of podcasts. I have a super long commute. I know the life of someone who listens to podcasts. I get it, right? Sometimes you just want something to keep you company while you're folding laundry. That could be us.
That is us.
Subscribe. We'll be there with you when you're folding laundry. And if you would, reach out on Discord, because we'd love to hear and get to know the people who are listening, not to just have it be a one-way conversation, but we're very approachable and easy to chat with. So hit us up on the Discord, comment on the show account on Instagram, and get to know us.
And as my co-hosting brothers have reminded you, these very, very fantastic things to do, support the show at the next level. One thing you can do that can go above and beyond even is give us a review on iTunes, rate us on Spotify, because here's the cool thing
So sorry, Ryan meant Apple Podcasts when he said iTunes, just so we're clear.
I'm not good at this whole like being a millennial thing. So one thing about if you send us a review on Apple is Faz will read it.
I will, as long as it's not offensive, guys. And I know that apparently official US policy is to be offensive now, but if you say fucked up shit, I'm not going to read it. If you make fun of us though, that's fair game.
Yeah,
I will say mean things to Ryan.
We really don't think that's fucked up.
Yeah, like that, like just, no slurs, no gross stuff. I'm Canadian. You got to realize that I've got I'm not made of the same strong.
Your Constitution is
my Constitution
sensibilities.
my Constitution has a Charter of Rights and Freedoms in it, and it can't be trampled on with executive orders. It's different than how you guys do it. But I will read what you say, even if it's now a 1-star review because you're mad at me for what I just said politically. Don't give us a 1-star review, but I will read it, and I'll flip you off when I read it if you say something. Every
time you say that, you're like, yeah, if you write in, I will read it. I just think of Anchorman. I only think of Anchorman when Ron Burgundy's like, hey, go fuck yourself, San Diego. Oh man, guys, you are too much fun, and I hope people have enjoyed this episode. But we're gonna cut it here, and we thank you for joining us for this romp through a few reviews of Thor adjacent comics, and then just listen to the things that we're generally hyped about on Discord and social media. Tell us what you are looking forward to. We would love to hear that and share in that excitement with you. But until we see you next time, everybody, we're going to hop aboard the Rainbow Bridge. But before we do that, we're just going to remind you to do one thing, and that is, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter if you're trying to figure out if you have any family in this world and you accidentally summon zombie Vikings to attack your friends, or if you're just trying to go down to Helltown to get some answers and you run into some old friends, or if you and your frog buddy just want to play with some toys and pretend that you're beating up Thanos, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're with, just remember to stay worthy.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if it be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Bum, 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 bum.